With the 10th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Paul Pierce from the University of Kansas.
Paul Pierce sitting in the green room back there a little longer than a lot.
Coming in, flex. I just want.
Paul Anthony Pierce, one of the greatest small forwards to ever do it, had a phenomenal career, seldom highlighted due to the era he played in. From Kobe's domination of the league, the Big Three Spurs, the rise of the King, there wasn't much breathing room left for players of such high caliber to excel. Yet, he still managed to attain a prolificent career at the Celtics, and his main move, the step back, is still a staple throughout the modern NBA. Paul Pierce was born on October 13, 1977, in Oakland, California. His family later on moved to Inglewood, where he attended Inglewood High School, and, unfortunately, he was cut from the team in the first and second years, and seriously thought of transferring before deciding to grind it out in the gym longer, becoming the star, averaging 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. He later on became a McDonald's All-American along Vince Carter and later teammate Kevin Garnett. He went on to Kansas College from 1995 to 98 as a 6'7" small forward, earning the All-American honors in his junior year at Kansas. He earned the honorable mention at the All-8 Big Honors and was selected second-team freshman All-American by Basketball Weekly. During the 96 summer, he earned a spot on the Under-22 team and helped the US go unbeaten in the World Championship qualifier in Puerto Rico. He was also MVP in the first of 2 Big 12 conference tournaments, averaging 21.7 points per game and leading them to their championship. As a junior in the 97-98 season, he won MVP in preseason NIT and the Big 12 Conference Tournament. He was a finalist in 98 for John Wooden and Naismith Awards. By the time all was said and done with his Kansas career, he had scored 1,786 total points, the 5th most in Jayhawks history, and grabbed 676 boards, the 11th most in Jayhawks history. This caused his number 34 jersey to be retired by the team. In the 1998 NBA draft, Pierce was selected 10th overall by the Boston Celtics, a team which he originally hated since he had always wanted to play for the Lakers. However, he soon grew accustomed to this team and gelled well with it. During his rookie season, he averaged 34 minutes per game, scoring 16.5 points per game and 43% from the field and 41% from 3. He was a starter from the word go, while also recording career-high blocks per game. From the get-go, the Truth scored 19 or more points per game in his first 10 games as a starter. He finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. In his second season, he averaged 19.5 points per game, turning into one of the league's elite scorers. Then in the 2000 to 2001 season, it was his breakout year, starting and playing in all 82 games, averaging 25.3 points, 6.4 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and nearly 2 steals per game, each at 38 minutes per game average. He was named NBA Player of the Month in March 2001, after averaging 30.3 points, 7.2 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1.6 steals in March. One of the main reasons why Pierce's breakout season was so special was because he overcame the odds. Early on in the season on September 25, 2000, Pierce was stabbed 11 times in the face, neck, and back, and had a bottle smashed over his head at the Buzz Club. He had to undergo lung surgery to repair the damage. Nevertheless, he was the only Celtic to play all 82 games. Tony Battier, his then teammate, along with his brother, saved him by rushing him to a nearby hospital. Years later, Pierce pledged $2.5 million to help expand the high-tech surgical center at Tufts New England Medical Center, which helped make his recovery possible, stating, "This is an opportunity for me to give back to the hospital. It was there for me when I needed it." Fittingly, in his breakout season, he earned his iconic nickname, The Truth. The name was bestowed on him by Shaquille O'Neal after 112-107 Lakers victory over the Celtics on March 13th. Pierce scored a phenomenal 42 points in a crazy efficient 13 of 19 shooting, roughly 68% from the field. Shaq pulled over reporter Steve Ballpet of the Boston Herald and told him to take this down. "My name is Shaquille O'Neal and Paul Pierce is the..." Truth. Quote me on that and don't take nothing out. I knew he could play, but I didn't know he could play like this. Paul Pierce is the truth. The 2001-02 season, Pierce became the Eastern Conference Co-Player of the Month twice, for December and April. He led the Celtics to the playoffs for the first time in 7 years and on to the Eastern Conference Finals. During Game 3, they pulled off the greatest fourth quarter comeback in playoff history, with Pierce hitting 19 points in the final 12 minutes, as Boston managed to entirely overcome the 21-9 deficit to beat the New Jersey Nets. Now let's highlight one of the most useful, innovative, and smart moves in the modern NBA, the step back. Before Harden, Kemba, and a plethora of other players today were breaking ankles and breaking down defenses with this move, there was Paul Pierce. His nasty step backs helped create more than enough room to pull up for a mid-range shot or even three. He was a pioneer whose move was damn near unguardable. In case a defender began playing him as if he could only drive, Pierce would unleash this devastating move and gain the 2 easy buckets. Since he had mastered this move, the end results were highly efficient shots. From the 2002-06 season, he made the All-Star teams every year, leading the league in total points at 2,144 in 2002. The Truth was also part of the US team in 2002 and played FIBA World Championships. He was also on the All-NBA third team roster from 2002 to 2003. Although the Truth was soaring, Boston as a franchise was sinking in the 06-07 season, gaining 24 wins, which was the second worst in the NBA. Pierce had only played 47 games due to injury. In the 07-08 season, Boston made a complete 180, acquiring missing pieces Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to form a big three along Paul Pierce, which led them to 66 wins in the season. Now with the new powerhouse in the East, the championship was clearly in the Celtics' foresight. In the playoffs, the Hawks took them to 7 games, as did the LeBron-led Cavs. In Game 7 of the series, Pierce hit 41 points to surpass the Cavs and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they beat the Pistons in 6 games. June 5, 2008, in Game 1 of the Finals against the Lakers, Pierce was, quote-unquote, injured and wheeled off the court. This, however, spawned into a meme, as it was later revealed he just needed to use the bathroom, given his quick recovery and later confession. Truly a legend, first in sports to do that, period. The Truth then led the Celtics to a 4-2 series win over the Lakers, becoming Finals MVP, averaging 22 points per game, alongside League MVP Kevin Garnett and other teammate Ray Allen. Now world champions, Pierce and the crew look to repeat, with him missing only 1 game the entire season and leading the league in scoring. He became the first Celtic since Larry Bird to win the 3-point contest. The Celtics were able to win the first, second, and finals round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, edging out the LeBron-led Cavs. They, however, lost to the Lakers despite of Rasheed Wallace more than making up for injured center Kendrick Perkins, losing the series in 7 games. Sadly, the odds were no longer in the Celtics' favor, as during the off-season of 2010, the decision happened, and the King, LeBron, moved to form a big three in Miami, with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh instantly becoming championship favorites. LeBron once said his quote-unquote rival, if he had one, would be Paul Pierce. Despite his efforts in Cleveland, he was unable to pass the massively stacked Celtics, however, still managing to have one of the best playoff showdowns in history. Once LeBron was able to overcome this hurdle in Miami, it pushed him to greatness, like the bad boy Pistons for MJ. On November 3rd, 2010, Pierce scored his 20,000th career point on a free throw, becoming the 3rd player in Celtics history to do so. On February 7, 2012, he scored 15 points against the Charlotte Bobcats to pass Larry Bird on 2nd place all-time Celtics scoring list. He was also named to his 10th All-Star appearance on February 9th. The Truth then played his 1,000th career game with the Celtics on March 9th against the Blazers. Only him, Havlicek, and Parrish have done so. He also averaged 19.4 points, 4.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds in the lockout 2011-12 season, giving the Celtics a 39-27 record. On June 28, 2013, draft day, Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Jason Terry were traded to Brooklyn for future 2014, 16, 18 first-round draft picks. Here, he averaged 13.5 points, 4.6 boards, and 2.4 assists in 28 minutes. He also moved into 5th place in all-time NBA three-pointers made with 1935 and became the 18th player to score 25,000 career points. The Nets still, however, fell short to Miami, almost being swept, losing in 5 games. On 7th July 2014, the Truth signed a 2-year, $11 million contract with the Wizards, with 14 points against the Atlanta Hawks on November 25, 2014. He passed Jerry West, the logo, for 17th place. 2 weeks later, he passed Reggie Miller for 16th with a season-high 28 points. He also passed Jason Kidd for 4th all-time in threes made, and on February 2, 2015, he passed Alex English for 15th place on NBA career scoring list. However, that season, he averaged 11.9 points per game, a career low. During the Eastern Conference semifinals versus the Atlanta Hawks on May 9, 2015, Pierce hit a three-pointer to even up the score. However, after it was reviewed, it showed the clock had expired before Pierce released. The Truth then signed a 3-year, $10 million deal with the Clippers, beginning the season as a role player off the bench for the first time in his career. Unfortunately, by this time in his career, his game had declined. On September 26, 2016, he announced that this was his last season playing in the league. 5th February 2017, Pierce's last game in Boston. He started and played the first 5 minutes. Despite the crowd chanting his name, he didn't re-enter until the last 19 seconds to hit a 3. By the end of this season, Pierce had attained the milestone of 26,397 career points. In the playoffs, the Clippers lost to the Jazz in the first round with 7 games. In his final game, he had 6 points, 3 rebounds in 21 minutes, averaging 11.1 minutes in the series. The Clippers then waived him on June 28, 2017. About a month later, the Truth signed a ceremonial contract with Boston in order to retire with the team. On August 18th, Boston announced his jersey would be retired on February 11th, 2018. His jersey was raised to the rafters of TD Garden in a post-game ceremony after the Celtics-Cavs game, as he became the 23rd person in Celtics history to be honored. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe.